जी हाँ, मैं हूँ खलनायक।
Hello folks, this is Aitan Aja from inspiredrise.com and today we are going to talk about the Zenfone Zoom S. So guys, let's talk about the Zenfone Zoom S in more detail. It comes with a 5.2-inch 1080p display, a 5000 mAh lithium-ion battery, 4 GB of RAM, a Snapdragon 625 chipset, and it has Android 7 Nougat pre-installed on this one. It comes in different storage variants like 32 GB, 64 GB, and 128 GB variant. I'm using the 64 GB variant right now, and it also has a micro SD card slot. And let's talk about the build and specifications of this device. So overall it does feel quite solid to hold in the hand, and at the back you get the fingerprint sensor, you have the dual tone LED flash, you get the dual camera sensor, and at the bottom you have the speaker grill, USB type C, 3.5mm jack that is still present on this phone, and you have the microphone. On the right hand side you get the power button and the volume rocker, and the placement is quite good. On the left hand side you have the hybrid SIM tray slot for this phone. It does support USB OTG, has almost every sensor that you need for a great smartphone experience, has accelerometer, gyroscope, proximity compass, every sensor. Overall it does feel quite solid to hold in the hand. In the box contents also include this nice cover, so that is something great that you get protection from day one for this phone. Initially this phone shipped with Android 6.0.1 Marshmallow, but right now it's on the latest version, Android 7.1.1 Nougat, and I'm grateful to ASUS guys for this. They didn't skip out this phone in terms of updates. If I talk about the battery life, it's amazing on this phone. It has a 5000 mAh battery, does last me really long. Even on intense heavy usage it lasts me really long. The UI on this phone has been improved to a certain extent, but you can always slap something like Nova Launcher on top of it, which I have done, and in my case I feel it quite perfect to use Nova Launcher along with this phone, as the overall experience becomes quite smoother. One of the major cons for this phone is that even despite the price, it only has a Snapdragon 625 chipset. They could have gone with an even more powerful chipset, but still seeing only a Snapdragon 625 on a smartphone like this is a little bit disappointing. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is the camera for this device. The original Zenfone Zoom had one of the best zoom cameras at that point of time, supported up to 3x zoom, and if we think about all of that, then it was quite an innovation at that time. They used a periscope type of lens technology in order to achieve real time optical zoom, and on this phone also there is up to like 2.5x zoom, and it does work okay, but it's still not as good. It supports 2.3 or 2.5x optical zoom, and then later it pushes up to 5x digital zoom. Still 5x zoom is not that stabilized, shots are not that good, but the physical zoom, the optical zoom works good. The digital zoom is not that great. It's not the images are not really that good, but there are also few bugs. And if I talk about the camera sensors, then they are dual 12 megapixel sensors with 25mm lens, f1.7 aperture, 4-axis OIS is supported, and this is on the first lens. On the second lens, which is the 59mm one, this is the f2.8 aperture. It has laser as well as face detection autofocus, 2.3x optical zoom, and dual LED dual tone flash is present. It has 1/2.5 inch sensor size, 1.4 micrometer pixel size. It supports simultaneous 4K video as well as 9 megapixel image captures, and has auto HDR mode, panorama mode. It supports 4K video recording at 24 FPS. I would have loved it if it was slightly higher, but still only 24 FPS 4K recording. And it also supports 1080p at 30 FPS. The secondary camera is a 13 megapixel one, the f2.0 aperture, 1/3 inch sensor size, 1.12 micrometer pixel size. And if we talk about the video quality, then it only has 1080p video quality. Now let's take a closer look at the image samples. So almost all of the image samples were quite good, and most of the shots that I got were quite good, but there's a serious bug in the camera application. When you zoom in to 2.3x and then you zoom into the 5x digital zoom, And even if you then zoom out using the same functionality, the viewfinder shows you the 5x zoomed image. So the 5x zoomed view is present on the viewfinder, and you can't do anything about it, you can't change it. And this is something that I personally disliked a lot, that even a phone which is so late into the product cycle still has issues like this, and such a thing has not been rectified till now. So this is something that ASUS guys seriously need to fix. And apart from this, what else has been changed? The phone design is definitely a lot better than the original Zenfone Zoom. That is something that I would appreciate them, that they have kind of managed to keep the phone design really good. They have the optical zoom factor now by using a different lens, not using a periscope lens technology. And I guess if they use even better lens, they can have even more zoom. So that is something which can be entirely changed and rectified. OnePlus also did like 1.66 times zoom, which they show as 2x, and so officially it only supports 1.66x zoom, the OnePlus 5. And so there are a lot of things that they have improved in this phone. Why do I love this phone? There is a certain factor to it, that even with all of its shortcomings, I was not able to hate this phone. This is because of the massive battery. The 5000 mAh battery does last really long. So I was listening to Spotify. So Indian users can't actually listen to Spotify. You have to use a VPN or something, bypass the whole process.
It feels good to be a gangster.
And then you are able to use Spotify. So I was listening to Spotify, and so at that point of time I was using network connection, using a speaker of the phone at the same time, and heard songs for like 3 hours at a stretch, and still my battery was drained by only like 15 to 20%. So that is something that I appreciate, that the battery life is seriously good. And if you talk about the whole user interface and everything, so if you install something like the Nova launcher, then it becomes quite smooth. And you also have the Google Now. Just by adding a add-on to the Nova Launcher Prime, you get Google Now functionality also, and it also feels like a very good stock Android device. So that is something that I appreciate about the device, that you can still customize it, even though it has the Zen UI, which is not really ultra refined, but still it's customizable to a huge extent. The build is something that I really appreciate. Build is solid. Even if you use it without the whole cover thing, it feels like a really solid phone to hold. The curved edges are really nice. You get the whole 2.5D curved glass thing, and I appreciate that they have put quite a lot of thought in the design process behind this phone, and it's certainly not an ugly phone by any means. And now let's talk about the final verdict. Who should buy the ASUS Zenfone Zoom S? So guys, the ASUS Zenfone Zoom S is available for a price of 27,000 rupees. And for such a price, it is kind of hard to justify the chipset used on this phone, kind of hard to justify the UI experience, and a lot of things are not exactly as good as you would expect on a phone like 27,000 rupees. You can easily get something like the Honor 8 Pro for just maybe like few bucks more, and that phone has a certainly superior experience than this one. But what would you buy this phone for if you buy this phone? The battery life is seriously good, and the experience also is quite good. The camera is definitely not the best in class. For this price point, you have tons of better camera phones out there. And if you think about the whole experience, then if you're somebody who likes a great superb battery life, wants a smooth smartphone experience, then the Zenfone Zoom S might be the one for you. Otherwise, you have a lot of other options that you can go and buy, and it does not kind of make sense to spend like 27k rupees on a phone like this, which has already become a little bit dated because of the older chipset and few other things. So guys, this was it for this video. In case you liked this one, don't forget to smash that thumbs up button. Do subscribe to our channel. There is a giveaway running on our channel right now, so if you are feeling lucky, just check the link in the description below, take part in the giveaway. Who knows, you might win that smartphone. So guys, this was it, and no matter what you do, stay inspired to rise.